Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So I decided to come back down to the river since it's a beautiful day and there was just kind of, an energy pulling me to come back outside. So I wanted to talk about energy management since I'm out here recharging my own energy and it's a great place to do it. So I thought about let's just talk about energy management out here. So yeah. Quinn. I decided to also bring this sweet little girl around. Well, she's not always sweet, but she's here for the video today. Say hi, Quinn. She's in her own little world. So yeah, energy management, and I thought, what better place than to come down here by the river. It's actually really spiritual. I've been finding a lot more, like, spots that have been kind of put up for ceremonies and rituals and stuff. I'm kind of talking about this place right here. Speaking of, actually, like, these things are, like, all around this river, so I thought it was a really cool spot to come by. And I actually find a lot of, like, really cool spiritual things out here. Like, this is, like, how I find a lot of my crystals in my collection, and a lot of just, like, different objects. I find a lot of things that you can really use for, like, art, like, as far as, like, feathers, bones, rocks, crystals go out here, so I think that's really cool. Kind of just adds to the spiritual vibe out here. Plus it's nature, so you can't go wrong with nature. So yeah, that's why we're out here. We're going to talk about energy management because this is definitely a really great place to start as far as managing your energy goes and just recharging your internal batteries. Also, the sun, obviously that's a really great way to recharge your batteries. I have no idea where I'm walking right now. I guess that's just part of the adventure. So, another really great form of energy management, since, our bodies make cannabinoids. Managing your cannabinoid intake. That's another great way to recharge your batteries. Oh no, for most people, not all people. To each their own. But yeah, like, there's different ways to really manage your energy. Now, when I say manage, there's, kind of different viewpoints for that word, I guess, I feel like. But it's really not about, like, being meticulous with your energy at all. It's really not about being, super duper picky about your energy. And, like, you do want to be careful about where you put your energy, of course. Ooh, look at that. As my mic swings. There's a little 7 right there. As I said that was pretty nifty. I like things like that. And, you can meditate, obviously, to get messages from your spirit guides, your ancestors, on, like, what you should do, what you should work on, where you should, put your energy when you're not meditating, of course. And, there's, you just, as far as management goes, what I really mean is just being able to really kind of control where your energy flows, where energy comes to you, where it's released, where you store energy also. It's a good, it's just a good, organizational skill, witchy skill, a witch tool, I should say, or just a spiritual tool, and daily tool for anybody, really, just to kind of organize where your energy goes, because you can manifest a lot easier that way. you can, keep track and, kind of put I guess an energy force field around you, so certain people and certain vibes in general just don't really have a great effect on you. Like I said, I don't know where I'm going. I think I just hit a dead end. Is this a dead end, Quinn? I know you could probably fit, but I don't know about all that. Well, this is fun. We're going on an adventure and we're talking about energy management. Because that can be an adventure itself, I guess. A good way to put it. But really, like I said, it's not just a tool for witches. It's a tool for anybody really to kind of control where your energy flows. So there's obviously, I talk about this all the time in my other videos. There's journaling. There's meditating. There's just your daily routine. Your daily routine, honestly, is probably the best and most important factor in your energy flow as far as intake and outtake goes. So be really mindful of that. And try your best not to kind of see it as so much of a chore or task or, things that you have to do. Don't try not to look at your daily routine that way, and then energy will kind of flow a lot smoother for you. You'll have a lot less stress, a lot less worries, and you'll know that it's just things that should be and just are. And when you see things that way, it becomes less of a stress, less of a worry, and something that you don't want to do. It just becomes something that you do because it is. And just think about that. Maybe that doesn't make sense to you right now, but think about what I said for later, because that viewpoint can change a lot of things. I'm gonna put this out for a second, and now I can hold the camera better. So, where was I? Oh yeah. So, when you change that viewpoint about your daily routine, you can really, make things become simpler for you, and it just becomes like a new flow, a new rhythm for you. And when you see your energy and your daily routines and your daily tasks and things you do, such as making cups of coffee, grocery shopping, getting your kids up in the morning, all of that stuff that we end up finally viewing as a chore because we do it every day, and it becomes really mundane and boring. If we keep track of that stuff a little bit easier and we broaden our viewpoint on it, it just becomes a lot simpler and a lot easier to do. So that's just my viewpoint on that. And it can be something that takes time developing as far as a daily routine goes. That's why I really like to journal, because I personally am a Virgo. I am kind of, I do have this organized mindset for sure, but I also tend to kind of put things off to the side very often when it's, something I just know I have to do. So when I journal, and also my memory is also a thing. I've been thinking about this a lot lately. I don't have the greatest memory. I can, especially when I don't smoke weed. I know that sounds silly, but I swear, especially when I don't smoke weed, I tend to forget a lot more things. So it's just really beneficial for me to write things down, whether it be on my phone through notes. I feel like that's personally, it's less of a great place for me to do it, because I personally use my phone for entertainment. I don't usually use it as a business tool, I do, but for the most part, my phone is more of an entertainment tool, and I use my laptop for more work sort of, or like business sort of task. So writing things down, like honestly on a piece of paper, is my personal suggestion as far as journaling goes. I tend to personally remember things a lot easier when I write it down on paper. Plus it's, it's physically there next to like my, my cup of water and my pipes and all the other things that I use daily. So it's, it's physically there somewhere where I know I can pick it up, and I'm going to pick it up quite often. I'm trying to navigate through trees right now, so I'm sorry if it sounds roughly. But yeah, journaling is also a really great way to kind of, organize your daily routine too. So, you can also, journal your thoughts, your ideas, your dreams are a really great way to receive energy messages, but that's like a different video. It's like a whole different topic we'll talk about some other time. But yeah, your daily routine can be managed through journaling as well. And then you can also put down a lot of your thoughts, ideas, and emotions down on a piece of paper. And like I've also said in some of, my other videos, is like your astrological signs are a good way to manage your energy, because when you can kind of keep track of your own sign, your natal chart, and then your natal chart, I don't know what I'm talking about right now. Your natal chart, you can keep track of like the moon cycles and the planetary cycles, and then also kind of, realize when you're going to be a moody cunt or whatever, because I do that pretty often. I can keep track of a lot of like my energy. Ooh, that's nice. I can keep track of a lot of my mood, energy, my emotions, that way. So that's also a really good tool to have. I think I'm getting lost, honestly. But whatever, we're just gonna get lost today. I don't think I can get too lost out here, hopefully. It seems like a trail. Anyway, so back to energy management. Obviously, there's different ways to track your energy, and there's no right or wrong way. Well, I believe, to really do it, because there's different. Oh my gosh, hold on. Yeah, I just fought my way through a bunch of trees to get here, but here we are. The highlight of the trip. I like being out here, especially with like the age of Aquarius really rolling out this week. Or maybe not even this week. I think it's going to take a little bit longer than a week to really roll out. But it's really nice coming down here. It's very peaceful. There's not too many people that come down here, so this is a really great way to recharge energy. Just being out in nature, not even just sunlight, honestly. Like, just being out here in nature and enjoying time with your pets, your loved ones. And also be mindful of, trying to... Oh, that's another topic, actually. Since I brought it up, I'm going to just talk about it. Like, be careful and mindful of receiving energy from other people. I know, and see, I'm not saying don't hang out with friends when, you're feeling lonely and stuff. Because, maybe that's, sometimes it is what we need, is to hang out with, other people and socialize. Because we do intake energy that way. But also be mindful of doing that sort of thing, because when you are hanging out with people, don't feed off of other people's energy, and don't take away from other people's energy because you don't really know how to create and produce and recharge your own energy. So that's just kind of a side note I wanted to talk about and bring up, because I think that's another thing that we tend to forget, is we try to find peace with other people. And it's not really feasible. It's not really possible. And I mean, maybe it's in the short term it's possible and it's feasible, But, long-term wise, you're going to do a lot more damage, a lot more harm than any good when you do that sort of thing, because managing your own energy and producing and, figuring out your own flow. Speaking of flow, when you figure that out, it's, you don't have to rely on other people. You don't have to be around other people to be happy. And you don't have to, you can just kind of go on adventures on your own and just go for long road trips being by yourself. And somehow that just creates this crazy flow of peace for you. So there's some real beauty in being alone and being able to create your own energy. So remember that. That's also something to think about. And, figure out. I don't know. Oh, I thought I lost my puppy. But also having a companion is a really great way too. But yeah, like I said, you don't want to intake your energy from your animal because I keep losing my mic. I need to get something to attach this to myself. Because these little guys, they produce their own energy too. And this little girl is a moody cunt, so yeah, you can't take too much energy from her or she's gonna spite you. And I'm trying to think of other ways to manage your energy, because there's all sorts of different ways to manage your energy. And things as simple as getting a cup of coffee in the morning, that's organically and simply, it sounds like it's just, something you do in the morning. But really, when you start to acknowledge and recognize the energy flow that, it takes to create that cup of coffee, the motivation it requires you to get out of your bed to make that cup of coffee. And it's almost also kind of I guess I've been thinking about this too, as a discipline and reward system for you. It takes discipline, right, to get out of bed. It takes a mental discipline. Maybe not too much, but it takes some sort of discipline to want to get out of bed, especially in the winter. I'm a summer baby, so I can't stand the winter. So I like to be laying in my bed cozy for an hour sometimes, and I don't want to get out of bed. But then I think about that cup of coffee, and I think about how warm and delicious and tasty and how much energy it would get me, it would give me to motivate me to do other things in the morning and start, doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing. So think about that. The discipline and the reward system, the energy flow that it takes to just make that cup of coffee in the morning. There's all sorts of other things you can use as an example and try to analyze and kind of break down. But that's just one example, a simple one that, I wanted to bring up for you. Because I personally can't live without coffee. Or some form of caffeine, at least. I drink tea too, so I do also have my tea ceremonies. That's also a really great way I affirm my energy for the day, is through a tea ceremony. But all of that stuff, like I said, is going to be personal. It's always going to it's really going to boil down to who you are as an individual. So just figure out your own energy flow and learn yourself. Learn a lot about yourself, and then you can figure out how to manage your energy in a way that makes sense for you. Because that's what it really takes. Because watching somebody else's video and just following their process down to the nitty-gritty, it works for some people, don't get me wrong. But personally, unless you make it personal, you just won't go very far, or you won't stick with it for very long, because it's somebody else's energy. It's something that somebody else created that you're feeding off. And it doesn't have any, I want to say something stronger than personal, because I guess something spiritual, because there's a lot more spirituality and a lot of, deeper things that come out of things, and task, and art, and, lots of stuff that comes out when you make things, and spell work especially, when you make it personal, it becomes so much stronger and so much more spiritual. So just think about that. I think that's really where I want to end it, because I could really ramble on for a lot longer about energy management, because there's so many different ways to really do it. But yeah, like being out in nature, sunlight, journaling, figuring out your own daily routine, and then also art, poetry, music, creation, all of that helps you figure out your energy flow and just learn how to recognize yourself, or recognize the face you make when you do certain things and certain tasks. Oh, side note too, numerology. If you pick up on a lot of signs, a lot of numerology can really be a sign from your spirit guides trying to, one, get your attention, let you know what side of, your storyline you're on, and also can confirm that you're on the right path. So also keep track of, numerology signs, your intuition is probably the best guide. So if you really work on your intuition and trusting yourself and trusting your own inner guidance, then you can really understand your energy better than anything else. So that's where I'm going to end it. You guys have a really great one. I hope you enjoyed this adventure and this view while we tried to figure out how to get to the river. But it was a really beautiful day, and I think I'm just going to enjoy the rest of my walk, since that tree, I realized, knocked out my joint and it's lost forever. So me and Quinn are just going to go and enjoy the rest of this walk. Y'all have a great day though, and I hope you think about what I just said. And if you haven't already, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Peace!